All right. So sorry about the delay in the audio, but I'm back with Stephen Yake. Share with us a little bit about how you connected with Brad Paisley.
Well, Brad, we're doing this tribute show to the Happy Goodmans, and it's more than music series we were doing. And Brad Paisley loved the Happy Goodmans, and so they actually called him, said, "Would you like to come do a song on our show?" And he said, "I would love it." And so he came and sang "Rise Again" from that by Dallas Home, and it was great. I said, "Really appreciate you coming and do that," because he's a pretty big deal then. But he said, "This is a song I grew up with, and this is a song that really meant a lot to me. It really meant a lot for the Happy Goodmans to have him there too." And we also had Dolly Parton on that show
And I'm sure it
because,
was amazing being able to work with somebody like Dolly Parton.
oh yeah, but Dolly just loved Happy Goodmans. And so we
Gotcha.
did we actually did a music video between uh, Dottie and um, Dolly. She was a part of that too.
You just cut your camera off.
Like really. Do I need to go back to what you sent me?
No, you should just be able to click on the screen. There should be a little camera icon down on the bottom, and you should be able to flip it back around. But I mean, being able to work with names like Dolly Parton or Brad Paisley or
How's
people
that?
like that,
You have me now?
no, you're still a black screen.
Hit video.
Yeah, hit video. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but anyway, we can just continue like this. Actually, I can cut my camera off too, and we can just talk like this. But
Yeah.
you, being able to work with stars like Dolly Parton and Brad Paisley and DC Talk and the different groups, what
Mhm.
would be one piece of advice that you've received from them that really helped impact your career?
Well, that no matter how big they got, they never forgot what their roots were, and that was the gospel, and that Jesus changed their lives, and they'll never leave that behind. And these guys had the world by the tail, but they did not forsake what God did for them. And Dolly, of course, is very outspoken, and Brad, he was outspoken on the show we did, but yeah, I think he's still. I haven't followed his career much, but I think he's still not ashamed of where he came from. Southern gospel roots. And then we also worked with Charlie Daniels, who Charlie Daniels hosted that TV show for me, and Charlie was pretty outspoken Christian, and he loved Southern gospel.
So, with over 400 videos under your belt, what's your go to process for turning a song's lyrics into visually dynamic storytelling, especially when working with tight budgets in the faith based industry?
Well, what I do is sit down with the song and listen to it over and over and over and over and start which I'm doing today. I've been listening to these songs with this new independent artist and just start getting visions in my head, and I start scribbling them down. And after a while, I get enough ideas that I start crafting out a paragraph or two or three or whatever starts flowing out until it's a complete video idea. beginning, middle, and end. And then I have to make sure it fits in the budget range. Then I turn that into the artist and say, hey, how's this sound? So, but that's the process, sometimes a video will just roll out of my head when I hear the song the first time. And it's like, well, that was easy. Other times I have to listen to it 20, 30, 40 times before I really get the vision for the song. So I definitely pray my way through that. But, you know, it's a it's a process. People go,
So,
"Oh, this must be awful easy for you." No, not. Having done that many videos, I try not to repeat myself. I try not to do. I always try to say, Dev, have I done this before? I don't. I want to try to make something new every time.
so you've collaborated with legendary artists like Petra and Richard Williams of Kansas. Who were your biggest influences in blending rock energy with spiritual messaging on screen?
Yeah, I haven't worked with Rich Williams, but I worked with Scott Bernard, who's the new guitar player in Kansas, who basically took Kerry Livgren's place, and he used to be in my worship band in my church in Nashville, and he's a huge brother. I mean, I saw him backstage when they were here in Sarasota, and he had a big T-shirt on that shows that face of Christ, which is from the burial cloth. And it's like, he don't care what anyone thinks. He's really outspoken, and he's this unbelievable guitar player. But he also plays with Kenny Loggins. He plays with Alan Parsons, and I've met all these people. I went to Alan Parsons' house. We tried to put together a documentary, but his co-writer's family would not cooperate. But that would have been great because Alan Parsons was involved with Paul McCartney and David Gilmour of Pink Floyd, and a lot of the stuff he produced. I was like, wow, that would be crazy. Well, it didn't work out. But Petra is my go-to guys of for many years now, and we're doing their 50th anniversary documentary, and we'll be done with that here probably in another week or two. It really turned out great. We had everybody you can think of, from Russ Taff to Phil Keaggy to Bride, talking about the impact of Petra. Uh, we just got some new music they sent to us, so we're putting into it. The new album, by the way, is called Hope, and I would recommend everybody go and listen to it. Go to YouTube and look up Petra Hope, and it's like you would never believe this is Petra. It sounds so modern.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah,
So, what really sparked your passion for directing music videos in the CCM space during the 1980s? And how did early projects like Fire by Night shape your creative style?
well, I mean, I was up against a lot of creative people that worked with me on Fire by Night, and so I had to do something in a music video that would that segment had to hold its own against the sketches we were doing and the family first segments and all that. So that really sparked me to try to stay up because I did a brand new video every month for Fire by Night, so that was a lot of work. And we had limited budgets because it was Willie's budget, but he saw the impact of what we were doing. But that's what really made me stay creative because I wanted the whole show to not have a dead link anywhere in it.
So, how do you balance artistic honesty and memorable imagery with the sensitives of CCM audiences, particularly in projects like the Confession musical, which came out in 2023?
Yeah, I didn't see that. Was that on a stage play?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched the show. I've actually shot on the set there. I did big Easter special for TD Jakes there. But you know, they are very very creative. They're cutting edge creative in what they're doing and what their scripts that they're writing. You know, that's same idea that I had. They're writing something outside of the box. You know, I mean, it could be the same old cliche thing you write out of the Bible, but you know, they're creating scenes based around this could have happened, and I really like that.
So, reflecting on Petra Beyond Belief video album or your work with John Slit on Show Me the Way, what was the
Mhm.
most rewarding collaboration you've had and why? Are you there? I lost you, I believe. Stephen, give me just a second, y'all. We're working on this. Stephen, are you there? Give us just a second, y'all. I am so sorry about the technical difficulties. We have never had this problem before. All right, I've never had this problem before. I don't know what's going on,
Yeah,
but
well, someone tried to call me. I think that's what happened.
oh wow. But anyway, we were talking about your most rewarding collaboration that you've had and why.
Yeah, what you said with Petra Beyond Belief.
Right.
You're talking about. Well, because you know, at that time there wasn't anything being done like that, and you know, we were once again thinking outside of the box because you know, video albums would be just 5, 6 videos, standalone videos, just kind of strung together. So we decided, hey, let's build a storyline that will make these videos work them into the storyline. And so that's what we did, and it did very well. It sold like over 50,000 copies. So you know, a lot of people be happy if they sold that many records. But so you know, that was a groundbreaking thing. And then you know, I ended up doing it for DeGarmo and Key, and just a lot of other people, Wayne Watson. But
So you're preparing for discussions around the new Carmen film Beyond Belief the movie. What unique challenges did directing a feature length project present comparing to your music video work?
yeah, I'm not working on the Beyond Belief uh, movie. That's another group. But though they've you know used bent my ear for a lot of ideas and what's going on, how I can help them. But you know, I am going to be involved in the Carmen movie. I said only way I'll be involved is I get top billing. But you know, I mean, I'm very happy to help the up and comers. You know, because you know, that's what we got to do. Recreate ourselves in the next generation. You know, just like Charlie Kirk, created himself, and that generation's now going to come up. So I think that's our obligation to the body of Christ.
So, over 3 decades, how has the shift from analog film to digital production changed the way that you approach projects at Yake Films, and what tools are you most excited about today?
Well, I mean, using the new Reds cameras that, I was talking to my DP, he's got two of them. And we're going to shoot this new music video, probably be in Nashville at the Franklin Theater, but we're going to shoot him on the Red. I mean, this is a girl singer, but you can make incredible pictures on the Red, and that looks just like film, because film's just prohibitive these days. You have to Once you buy the film, then you have to develop it, then you have to colorize it. And, I mean, it's outrageous. On the Red, you just roll. You just push the button and roll, and you get just as pretty pictures if it was 70 millimeter or, you know, 16. But it's just the technology has come so far along. And he was telling me today that the whole interactive. Oh, I'm trying to think of what the name is. It's where you can create characters in a computer that can interact with real people.
Oh, wow.
So, and it's just a whole new generation of animation, I'm sure you've seen that online, but that we're going to talk about maybe trying to do that in some of our future music videos. They don't look like cartoons; they look like real people. But I try to stay on the edge.
So, as CCM's most awarded video director, what advice would you give to emerging filmmakers wanting to break into faith based media?
Well, I mean, what I tell everybody is, if you want to break in, go volunteer. And if you hear about a shoot taking place, go volunteer and work your butt off. And then you get the eye of the director, the eye of the producer, and then next time maybe they'll call you and pay you, because you got to be around it to really learn it. And I mean, I have some people that in Nashville never shoot there. I always call them, say, and they don't ask to be paid, but I'm going to start paying them pretty soon because they're now getting it. But that's the best way. You can do all the book learning you want in school and all that. That's not the same as actually being on set and watching how things are lit, how things are shot. It's really important.
So, with Yake Films based in Sarasota, Florida, and your focus on full cycle production from conception to post, what's
Hmm.
one dream project, be it a video or a TV show or a film, that you'd love to tackle next?
Oh, well, I'm talking to a guy out of Michigan who's getting some serious money together from investors. And we're talking about doing some documentaries, talking about doing a serious film. But I mean, we're talking, this is not going to be $15. This is going to be in the deep six figures. But but we want to do a documentary on drug abuse, child trafficking, that type of thing. I mean, I love to tell those kind of stories and to expose it. So that's and I incorporate Christian music into that.
Well, Stephen, thank you so much for your time today. I have enjoyed our conversation, and
Yes,
thank you for what you do, creating great music videos, feature films, and documentaries for the Christian body. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Appreciate
All
it.
right.
Thank you.
God
Okay.
bless.
God bless you too. All right. Bye.
Bye.